Short overall length. Nice big 1880 Martini action. Weird forend. Tiny little caliber. This, my friends, is not what it appears to be. This is someone's sporting gun. So, nice big large frame Martini with a barrel that is only 22 caliber. This has been rechambered, well, rebarreled into a caliber known as 22 Falcon. What is 22 Falcon, you ask? Well, it's one of those really obscure 303 Wildcats that sprung up after the war. Obviously an SMLE type rear sight, and obviously this has been done up in the style of a Mannlicher Schönau stock set. Very light, very handy. Was an interesting caliber, having had the displeasure of firing a 22 Falcon in the past. Splitting cases is almost inevitable, no matter how good your annealing is. It's quite a long way to neck 303, all the way down to 22 caliber. But when there wasn't such a thing as medium burning powders and a whole lot of other options out there, this is what they came up with. And this is one of the few 303 Wildcats I've seen thrown into a Martini action. Very cool, very interesting. All right, this gets me excited the big Kev way. Looks a lot like an IRC carbine or one of the cavalry carbines of the MLE vintage. However, it's actually a Lee Speed commercial pattern. This is the trade model. Has features common to all those models I just mentioned. MLE action with your dust cover, no charger bridge, magazine cutoff, short little 5-round magazine, that's referred to as a potbelly magazine. Short, light, handy, has the flattened bolt handle of the IRCs and the cavalry carbines. However, actually made to commercial specs. Something else that's really cool is this rear sight cover. Awesome little cover. And a very odd rear sight. Lots of adjustment there. In terms of adjustment, this has all of it. These commercial guns had a mix of features based on whatever was required at the time. So even though this has this weird target sight on it, it still has the bayonet lug, etc. So they can be sold as government aid or to various colonial organisations around the world. Nice BSA trade stamp right there with piled arms. This is one I really wish I could take home with me. So cool! So cool!
So, we recently did a service pistol competition where I used a 5.86 with a cut-off hammer. Turns out that's not just a modern idea. Here we have an example of a Enfield revolver. It is not a Webley, even though it looks very similar to it. Chambered in 38-200 or 38 Smith & Wesson. Some very interesting marks on it, made locally by a company here in Australia. Standard break open automatic ejection, 6-round capacity, and the bobbed hammer was designed specifically for use within the tight confines of armoured vehicles. So nothing to snag on if you had to pull it out quickly. Interesting grips, surprisingly comfortable. Very, very interesting.
As you all know, I like my guns made of wooden steel, including my handguns. thus I like 1911s, except this isn't a 1911, this is a Steyr Model B.
Here, I'll put those back.
Made in España, looks like a 1911, except it's not. Okay, has all the features, single stack magazine, slide stop, safety where it normally would be, that nice thin overall profile, except the takedown lever is a little different. And if we roll it over, the barrel bushing is different. You'll also note it's in 9mm. Now, these are quite famous because you see them all over Hollywood because they are disguised as 1911s. Obviously has a magazine safety, which is not a feature normally found on a 1911 design. But particularly, say, I don't know, if you're a fan of Samuel L. Jackson, in one of his most famous lines.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
He's actually using a Steyr Model B because of this giant external extractor. You can pick them a mile off. Why were they popular in Hollywood? Well, 9mm blank was a lot easier to get hold of than 45. These are quite popular many years ago, reasonably cheap, however getting a little bit hard to get hold of these days. A little bit more agricultural in design, knowing the Spanish and their manufacturing methodologies. However, still a very cool piece, very functional, very usable. Everything good about the 1911 that you love, just even skinnier, 9mm, a built-in bigger beaver tail, no grip safety, which is another plus. Safety nice and enlarged. If it wasn't for the magazines and being rare as hen's teeth, this would actually make a pretty decent IPSC gun. And another classic you can own here on a club licence for H.A.C from the Australian Arms Auction House.
All right, continuing on with the service pistol theme, we've got a Steyr, a good Steyr service pistol. This is the 1913 chambered in 9mm Steyr, feeds from an 8-round internal magazine. But you'll notice there's no mag release button. That's because this one is actually fed via stripper clip straight into the magazine. Very straight up and down grip angle, safety where you expect it to be, and no slide release because it's designed to have your strippers go straight in. So the only way to release that is to push the follower down and then very, very carefully let the slide go forwards. Safety in the proper position, actually pretty damn positive. Sights typical for the time, but not entirely unusable. Although these ones do have significant evidence of wearing. Just another really cool piece of history, which you can pick up here at the auction. All right, we know that I'm slightly prone to a bit of Han Solo action, so it seems only appropriate that I show you this. This is a Mauser C96, but as evidenced by the giant 9 on the grips, it is a 9mm version, not a rechambering, actually made as a 9mm C96, commonly referred to as Red 9 due to the before mentioned grips. 10-round internal magazine, semi-automatic action, giant hammer, and internally fed. As with the Steyr, the only way to release this is to push down the follower and let it go down very carefully. And because I'm not a monster, I will not be dry firing this. Top actually reciprocates very, very slightly when fired. 10 round mag, just an awesome piece of kit. Slightly optimistic sighting options. But hey, this was pretty normal for the time. Comes with the traditional stock holster. Along with extra accoutrements. Overall, yet another awesome example here at the auctions. And as always, remember, Han shot first.
Yes, I bet you have.
I love single action, I love revolvers, and I love Colt. So let's take a look at this. This fella here is Colt Single Action Army Bisley model. This one is a 1975 manufacture, so they're custom shop at the time. Proper Colt, so you have to go to the second notch in order to clear the cylinders. This one's in 38 Winchester centerfire. Firing pin where it should be. Nice and tight. Looks a little warm, but the interesting piece on this one is this grip. Now the Bisley grip exists for a reason. The original plough handles were quite good, quite natural. The Bisley grip, however, realigned the grip angle, gave it more vertical to accommodate the more target style. As you get higher on the gun, helps mitigate that recoil a little better, but also accommodated the limp-wristed shooting style of the times. This gun here, quite obviously, has been filed down on the front sight to suit the load of choice of its previous owners.
Greetings, sponsor.
Shrouded ejector rod, 4-inch barrel, all the normal features you would expect to find on a C-O-L-T.
I think it's the
Colt it is.
8911. I think it's the
Quality
very early
makes it a Colt.
Well, that about wraps us up here at the Australian Arms Auction for October 2019. Rowan, any bids?
I placed an absentee bin on a couple of Springfield bayonets, which I need to add to my collection, and we'll see how that one pans out for me. Now, absentee bidding is a thing you can do here. Just if you're down here, have a look, place your absentee bid form in, and it's a bit like postal voting, so to speak. You can also phone bid here as well, which is something we haven't mentioned in previous video either. So even if you are international, you can place bids on items here from the various listings. Obviously, if you've got someone local, it's always best to get the item checked out for you. But if you know the history or that confident that is the item for you, by all means, place your bids away.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd also like to thank the the organisers, Rolly and Cheryl, for letting us come in and film again. They were very generous with their time and their assistance, and we appreciate it very much. So,
ultimately, without their approval and their assistance, we wouldn't be able to bring you this style of footage, and something that's unique to our channel so far in Australia.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you've enjoyed some of the content. Some more good videos coming your way. You can now check us out on Facebook as well. Yeah, so if you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, comment. We try to respond to your comments as best we can, so keep them coming. And yeah, that's about it from us.
If you want to put in your comments, how much do you think I really should have put a bid on for that trade pattern carbine? I wanted that thing so bad.
Yeah, I'm going to be hearing about this one for a little while. That being said, that Red 9, ooh, I could easily spend way too much money on that. Beautiful bits of kit.
And on that bombshell, have a good night.